We have been discussing the heter מכירה. Now, once the land is sold, does that mean that I can do whatever I want on the land? Are there limitations on what a Jew can do? Are there limitations on what a non-Jew can do? And this is a different issue. We've said now that the heter is possible, and this limits or obviates the halachas of Shmita. How so? The Mizrahi chapter of Frankfurt in Germany, which was also one of the places of staunch opposition to the heter, both existed in the same place, asked Rav Kook a question about exactly how things work, or generally how things work. So he responds in Mishpat Kohen, Hatikun הכללי, the general way of fixing the problems of Shmita, שנעשה עליה, that were done by me, על פי הוראת הגאונים זקני הדור העבר נוחי נפש ז"ל, that is done based upon the instructions of the gaonim, the elders of the previous generation. Their neshamas should rest. Asher chazakti osam neged hakkamim alai lebtala, and I have strengthened it against those that came to negate the heter. באשר בבטולה יהרס כל יסוד ישוב ארצנו הקדושה, and that negating the heter מכירה would uproot all of the settlement of the Holy Land. Vמצב רגלי שלומי אמוני Israel, and the situation of those people that are completely faithful to the faith of Israel. Shelo yasei davar ki'im al pi horas din torasenu kadosha, who will not do anything except those things that are permitted by our holy Torah. Hu rak lasos mechira klalis, and the only way to do this is a general sale. Al pi tanaim yuchadim, based upon specific conditions. Shemekilim et etzem iser hamechira l'nachri, and these conditions lighten the prohibition of selling land near its shell to a non-Jew, so that the land will be removed from the prohibitions of Shmita. According to the opinion of the majority of the gaonim who preceded me, that the entire Jewish nation walks in their light. And I actually have done this. So that we can do this way of fixing things. So that the Yeshuv in Eretz Yisrael can continue going in its way and growing. Paragraph 2. And how do we conduct ourselves after the Mechira? We have had conditions kasher hunhag me'az, that were the conditions that were originally in place. Shalolin goa gam acher hamecher, that you do not touch even after the sale. B'shum malacha shibu biur isur min haTorah, and any malacha that is clear that is prohibited from the Torah, meaning only things that are done al yidei Yisrael, that can be done by a Jew. Meaning no Jew can do any work on Shmita, even if the land belongs to a non-Jew. There is a Torah prohibition. All of these malachas that are prohibited by Torah law, all the work that's prohibited from the Torah, can only be done by non-Jews. And only those things that have a rabbinic prohibition to attach to them, even when the Shmita is of Torah origin, V'gam below shum tziruv heter mechira, and even without a heter mechira, elu yasu al yidei Yisrael. These things can be done by a Jew. So anything that's prohibited by the Torah, only non-Jews can do. Things that are prohibited by the rabbis, even when Shmita is deraisa, those things a Jew may do on the Shmita. Omnam, paragraph Gimel, but lever ma to explain what are those malachas that are prohibited by the Torah. And to put it into the possibilities of our conditions today. Birarnu shirak arba malachos hine vadaos min Torah. There are only 4 things that is 100% clear are prohibited by the Torah. Vehen, and what are they? Zriya, planting. Zemira, pruning. Gimel, ketziras tevua, v'kol minei yirakos v'zraim. Harvesting grains and all types of vegetables and seeds, like sunflower seeds and things like that. Dalet, betziras anavim, harvesting of grapes. V'kol minei peros ilan, and all other types of fruit that comes from trees. U'minadim roim l'sosa davka al yedei polim l'nochrim. And from the essential halacha, one should only do this through non-Jewish workers. Paragraph 4, Dalet. Hacharisha hi malacha misupekas. Plowing is a malacha that we have questions about. We've discussed this previously when we discussed plowing. Im hi asura min haTorah b'shvis, or shehi b'klal malachas d'Rabbanan. If plowing is one of those malachas that is prohibited from the Torah and Shmita, or it's only a rabbinic prohibition. Al ken pirsamnu she'ein heter lachrosh al yedei Yisrael. Therefore, we have publicized that one should not, when it's prohibited, there is no permission to plow through Jewish labor. Rak dav b'mkom dachak gadol. Only if there is great pressure, great financial difficulties. V'davka al pi shelas chacham. And then, if there is special need involved in this, then it's possible to ask a shaila of a posek, and he can decide whether this is a situation that would allow plowing through non-Jewish labor or not. Hey, mipnei shekol davar haheter hu be'emes rak mipnei ha'atzum. The nature of the heter is only because of the great pressure that our agriculture is under, or the pressure of people needing food. Ubatoras harasha, and this is a pasak based upon the situation that we're in. Al ken hun hagnu shalolin toa netiya chadash haklal. Therefore, we have said there should be no new planting at all, meaning planting of trees, not of vegetables. Mipnei shekol magmaso hi lahagen al yishuv shekavar nishtchalal. Because the point is to preserve the yishuv that already exists, not to expand it during Shmita. V'shelo yehares al yedei hafsakas ha'avodah ve'mischar b'shvis. And so it is not destroyed through the interruption of work and trade on the Shmita year. Meaning, if you think of it in a certain way, there's a din of kiyumi elana and the fruya elana. I'm allowed to do things that allow the tree to continue to live. I'm not allowed to do things that make the tree live better. So since ikiyumi elana is permitted, so too ikiyumi hayishuv is permitted, meaning allowing the yishuv to continue as it is, but making it grow more, then it has to wait until after Shmita. V'מצב hayarud v'hanara yishuv omed al alavked, according to the very difficult situation that the yishuv in Eretz Yisrael is in at this moment. Ad ba eis lachanana b'yesh elokim, until the time when we will have God's grace. Af al pi shemitzad hadin hanatiya hi miklal hamalachos, even though natiya is a part of Zriya, is one of the things that's aser Torah on Shmita. Shalas kamas miroshin rishonim hen asurus rak midrabanan. And however, there are some of the Rishonim that hold it's only rabbinic prohibition. Vaya roy lahakel al achara mechira lasos gam kenal Yisrael. And therefore, according to those Rishonim, there is reason to be lenient after the land has been sold for Yisrael to do this. Mikol makom, in any case. Mipnei she'ashara hi tamid, because this is an ongoing thing. Shal yedei manias netiya chadashas lo titet kakala l'mamad hayishuv. If we don't plant this year and we plant instead next year, it will not cause a disaster to the yishuv, to the settlement of Jews there in Israel. Unhaglu lahachmir ba od yoter mi bishar malachos. Therefore, what we have done in all the previous Shmitos is we have been machmir on it, not to allow planting of trees during the Shmita year. Shen al pidas Torah chamuras mimenu, because it seems that this is more strict than the other things. Mipnei no gaos yoter lematzavcha yeshuv. And this, in the way it would touch the conduct and the situation of the yeshuv. Pinei mitzad hadin, and it should be from the basic halacha. Hanotea b'shvis be'isser ya'akor. That one that plants on Shmita, whatever he plants should be uprooted. Aval kfi ha'amor i'afshar li laharos ken al masha kavar asui. Nonetheless, I cannot give such a pasak when people have already planted, because there are opinions that would be lenient on it, that say it's only in the malach of the rabbanan, it's only a rabbinic prohibition, and so on. Ki sof kol sof ein kan isser bar, because however you look at it, it's not clear, even when the Shmita is usher from the Torah, that planting a tree is usher from the Torah. And we have already established the heter mechira. The gam as yeshnam achadim, and there are specific situations she'al pi ma shenigla li mimatzavam shayot tzfuyim lahafsid nora me'od al yedei bebitula, where there are places that would suffer a huge financial and psychological loss through not planting this year. Them I allowed to plant using non-Jewish labor. And through very specific things of their situation. This is one of several places where Rav Kook wrote about work during the Shmita. I would like to next time look at another one in Shabbos Haaretz. This was from the Shuvas Mishpat Kohen. And when Rav Kook is talking about a specific situation, he is very strong that this year and the previous years we absolutely had to do the heter. In Shabbos Haaretz, he's real, the Gufa Sefer, the basic text of the book, is a commentary on the Rambam on Hilchos Shmita. And there, when he's writing for all eternity, so to speak, he does look at this in a slightly different way, and especially since we are over 100 years, almost 112 years or so, Eric, from the time that Rav Kook wrote these words, it would, of the tshuva that I just read to you, it would be very useful for us to look at how Rav Kook views the heter for all time, not just the specific time in the early 1900s. Everyone should have a wonderful day.